And welcome to another educational video about screen printing by Catspit Productions. Today I just wanted to share with you a little bit of a registration technique. We've been getting a lot of questions about how to register jobs on the press. And as you can see, I have a little two-color for a customer that I'm setting up over here. But we're not going to look at that today. We're going to look at the Catspit two-color that we just printed out on some waterproof film just recently in one of my recent videos. And when I printed these out, I forgot to beef up the registration marks. Okay, so basically it's like a design that I could really use reg marks on, but they were so thin that they didn't burn out properly in the screen. So I'm going to show you a technique how I'm going to use my acetates on the pallet to line up my screens and then print the job. Alright, so let's get started really quick. Here's the screens right here. We got the two screens burned already. This is the black printer. Okay, and then I have this, which is supposed to be either a gray or it could be it could be just a tinting ink, like a clear base of some kind, because I plan on printing these shirts on, I plan on printing these shirts as gray shirts, or how would I say that? They're supposed to be gray shirts, so a black and a gray design on a gray shirt, kind of a monochrome type thing, trendy deal. Alright, so I'll move in the camera to the palette so that you can get a close look at what I'm doing, and I'll show you how I'm going to use my acetates to line up the two screens before I ink them up, okay? And then we'll line them up the best we can, then we'll ink them up, and we'll print a test reg and see how it comes out. So the first thing we got to do is tape off the screens, of course. And I've been doing this new little thing where I'm tabbing, actually tab one end, and I've been finding it's a lot easier for when I need to get the tape off for cleaning or reclaiming, and it doesn't seem to get in the way of anything. So it's a cool little thing that I just started doing. I don't know why. I could have, maybe done it a long time ago, but you know how it is. As you get older, you get wiser. Hopefully. I know some of us don't, but in my case, I certainly have gotten wiser with age. And, when you look back at your youth, you wonder why you did some of the things you did. Anyway, alright, enough with that. So now we're all taped off, and we're ready to get this set up. Alright, so again, like I said, because I screwed up and I didn't beef up, I don't know if you can see, there's little reg marks on the end here, and I just forgot to, I should have changed them, I forgot. Alright, so so what I have to do to line this up is what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this piece of film to get my design centered, and then I'm going to use a little Scotch tape with tabbing to hold it in place, even though with there's a little spray tack on here. It'd probably stay pretty good, but when you're dealing with the registration, you don't want to, move it. It's just tape it down, trust me. Okay, so I have it centered, I have it lined up. This is just a little test print for this. So now I need the other color in here so that I can line up the second color. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up this piece of film to the piece of film I already have on here. Alright, so this is going to take a little bit more care. So I'm going to tab my pieces of tape ahead of time. Okay, and then I'll proceed to line it up to the crosshairs that we have here. And you'll want to line it up really, you know, as perfectly as possible. And check everything. It almost looks like I have a little distortion in my film or something here, because that looks fine. Okay. And this is the part you want to take the most time doing. Okay, and that looks pretty good. I'll run with it. All right, so now I'm going to tab that down and make sure that it does not go anywhere. All right, so now I have both pieces. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get the black screen up in here. Okay, so let me get resituated. I want to resituate the mic, and then we'll start putting in the screens and lining them up to this. All right, so not only did I have to resituate the mic, but the battery was running out, honestly, was also what the problem was. Okay, so now let's see how we're gonna do this. We're just gonna line this up to what we have on the acetate. So you got to pull your pallet out to a reasonable place. Make sure it's in the approximate area that you're going to need. Okay, tighten it up nice and make sure it's parallel and straight. Now, I'm just basically going to sit here and take a minute to line up the black printer to the lines I can see in the black printer, because my registration marks I spaced. That was my bad. I totally spaced, and I did not beef up the reg marks. That, you know, honestly, that looks pretty good. It's really hard to tell. There's not a lot to, you know, do it by, but let's run with that. Make sure your micro reg is tight. Okay, and then, you know me, I like to do this and set it back down and just see that everything looks like, you know, there hasn't been any movement. Okay, so that one's good. Now we're going to bring down the gray. Okay, and we'll do the same thing. This one looks like it might be a little bit trickier because there's no text. So you might have some twisting type issues, like, you know, rotation, making sure it's not tweaked in a rotated manner. That's not good, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so there we go. Okay, now let me just see. It's interesting because up here, it's very interesting. Up here we look good. Yeah, I think it's good enough to try. It's one of those things. Make sure your micro reg is tight, brackets, lift up and down. It looks okay. I think we can try a test print. So, you know, that's it. Let's try a little test print, shall we? Alright, so I'm all inked up and I have my white t-shirt on here, which is just a test t-shirt. It's actually not a rag because I think we should have no problems with this. So we're going to start with the gray, of course. We always try to print the lightest color first with the least amount of information. Okay, and let me check my height one more time. I see this here is 3 fingers up from the collar. Let me see. You know, I think for this design, you know, that's alright. And it's just, alright, let's just adjust it a little. Alright, shall we? Just a wee bit, okay? Alright, let's try that, okay? So first we're going to lay down the gray, and this is the first time we're printing the screen at all. And for the gray, I'm going to actually do a double stroke in 2 different directions, which is not really what you want to do ever. Okay, so there it is there. All right, now excuse me while I reach across and grab the heat gun, and let me flash cure this really quick before we put the black on top. Okay, it appears that'll work. All right, so, you know, 3 Hail Marys, as they say, and we're going to try to print the black. Now, I'm going to take a look and just see that it appears that this one would do well if I push stroke. Okay, so that's all we're going to do with this one. We're going to flood it out, and then push stroke. And there it is. Oh, voila. And of course, I don't know if you can see that up here. That's funny. This is part of the registration marks that didn't quite burn out all the way, and I forgot to tape them off. So that is something, this, you know, fortunately I have a spot cleaning gun with spot cleaning solution, so I can probably cure that and then spiff it out and still give this shirt away. But as I look at the registration, it's great. It's fine, and it's perfect. It's good. It's a good little design. Now I have to pick out the gray t-shirt that I really want to print this on. Well then, I guess that wraps it up for another educational video about screen printing by Catspit Productions. Please remember that I really appreciate your time and attention online, on my YouTube channel, on the website, on my blog, Twitter, and Facebook. And please know that the website at catspitproductionsllc.com is your portal to everything that I do online involving screen printing. So if you want to know what Catspit Productions is up to as far as how we teach screen printing, where we are and what we're doing and what social networking platforms we use, visit the website at catspitproductionsllc.com and check out everything that I have to offer you in free educational screen printing materials for you, available online 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I really need your support and you know, online. So if you can comment, rate, thumbs up, subscribe, share my videos, spread the word, all the help that you can give me in becoming more successful at teaching screen printing online allows me to produce more material for you free of charge, available on the internet anytime you want. So I really appreciate your support, and I'm having a lot of fun doing this, and you know, maybe one day I can make the transition from printing all the time and I can spend full time making videos for you guys and doing requests, you know, and really getting interactive with you in a way that has never been done before. So, you know, all your support in any way is very appreciated. Thanks a lot for your time. Rate, thumbs up, comment below, and please subscribe. We'll see you next time.